Coming back to our next episode of Guitar Month. We talk about guitar tunings, different tunings on the guitar. We're not gonna talk about ridiculous stuff, how to put strings on a guitar or using a guitar tuner. I guess everybody knows that already. Why we use different tunings, why we use different strings on that, and that's how it goes. Okay, standard tuning, 440 Hz on an A, and we got a regular 10 to 46 string on that guitar, so it's what you ever knows, and this is quite cool for doing stuff like but we're trying to do something different. One of our favorite guitar tunings is the drop D, where you usually go with the E string, dropping it down to a D. Additionally, we also tune the whole guitar semitone down, so we start now not with an E, so we start with a D sharp, and it gives you more balls in the low end, and because you usually have an usual open D chord. While using the low strings now, you got more balls in that. That's pretty simple. You also can use only the low strings, building riffs out of that, like we did on Ashes on our first album. Or using more than only two strings from the fretboard as Monkey on My Back from our last EP. And just to prevent that your lower strings getting loose and not so defined, we also changed the strings on that one from 10 to 52, so the more thicker strings will sound a little bit more defined then. Our second favorite tuning is C, so you just tune the whole guitar down like you usually would tune a guitar. Instead of an E, you start with a C, and then like usual way down, which is quite good for doomy stuff like Bleed from our first album. Or also for faster stuff like Wolves and Me, Sam album. Well, if you go that deep with the guitar tuning, strings will lose the tension very fast, and so we got for a C tuning, we're going to use 12 to 54 strings, and I'm going to show you why, because coming back to this riff, so, and the same thing with thinner strings from 10 to 46. Yeah, you might have recognized it's not that defined like on thicker strings. And especially when you're hitting the low strings really hard, then you're just losing the definition. So it's a little bit work with the thicker strings, but maybe you should think about that while using really deep tunings. So just coming to the end, short comparison, same riff, classical one on 3 different tunings, and I just lowered the guitar a little because I'm not used to having it just right up here. So. Well, and the same thing in a drop D, which is a D sharp in our case. And the whole thing in C. So, same riff, 3 different tunings. As you just recognized, it sounds always different, and maybe it's an idea. Try one of your songs in another tuning. Guitar tunings, different tunings gives you different voicings, and yeah, try yourself. Make your songs a little bit more interesting while working on this one. And some people were asking for gear, and so stay tuned for the next one, which will be a Rick Rundown.